Jai Swaminarayan. Dear devotees, in the battle of Ramayana, Lakshmanji was fighting with Indrajit, who was the son of Ravan. Indrajit was a mysterious warrior. He confused Lakshmanji with his mysterious weapons. Anyhow, Lakshmanji couldn't solve the mystery of his weapons. Indrajit attacked with one powerful weapon on Lakshmanji. Lakshmanji fell unconscious on the ground. And Lakshmanji was almost dead. Now requires the Sanjivani medicine. This Sanjivani medicine is such powerful that it can wake up a dead person also. Afterwards, we know the story that Hanumanji goes to Himalaya and brings Sanjivani medicine for Lakshmanji. With that Sanjivani medicine, Lakshmanji bounced back in the battle and defeats and kills that Indrajit. In the same way, in our life also, sometimes we are hit by problems, setbacks, difficulties, adversities, and we fall unconscious, depressed, frustrated in our life. At that point of time, what could be that Sanjivani medicine for a devotee which can cure the injuries made by problems, difficulties, adversities, setbacks? What could be that tonic? If you have it, you can again bounce back in devotional life. Which is that Sanjivani? Dear devotees, that Sanjivani is nothing else than the Satsang of true saint. Yes, Satsang itself is the Sanjivani for a devotee of God. If you have that Satsang Sanjivani, you can rise for the devotion of God and you can bounce back to make great feats to please God. That is why Premanand Swami asked the fifth boon to Bhagwan Swaminarayan, that, O Bhagwan Swaminarayan, Ekantik tav das ko dije samagam moy. Please give me the company of your Ekantik devotee, your Ekantik saint. Give me the satsang of your Ekantik saint. Can you guess why Premanand Swami asked the satsang of Ekantik saint? Dear devotees, without satsang of Ekantik saint and without the blessings of Ekantik saint, one can never have the devotion for God. The fruit of satsang is Ekantik devotion of God. Satsang and devotion, both are directly proportional to each other. If satsang will rise, devotion also will rise. If satsang will decrease, devotion also will get decreased. So for the sake of devotion, Premanand Swami asked satsang of Ekantik saints. Now the main question is, what is called satsang? In satsang there are two words, sat and sang. Sat means true and real. Sang means love and attachment. Satsang means deep love and attachment with a true saint. That is called satsang. Satsang is not about just staying together with a true saint. Satsang is not just about listening the discourses of true saints. Because sometimes people stay together with a true saint but they don't have emotional attachment with true saint. Sometimes they hear the discourses of true saint but they don't have emotional attachment with them. So that's not a true satsang, and such kind of satsang will not bring the much transformation in his life. So satsang means emotional attachment and love with the true saint. Now what kind of emotional attachment should be there with a true saint? Tat sukh sukhitvam, tad dukh dukhitvam. His happiness is what my happiness. His pain is what my pains. This kind of emotional attachment should be there with a true Ekantik saint of God. In Srimad Bhagavad Purana it is said that prasangamajaram pashamatmana kavayo viduhu sa eva sadhushu kruto moksha dwaram apavrutam. The gateway of moksha opens to one who has deep love and affection with true saint, as he have love and affection with his body and his relatives. The gateway of Akshardham opens one who has deep love and affection with a true Ekantik saint. Now tell me, what will happen if you interact a person who has corona positive? What will happen? You too will get corona positive. that person will transmit the coronaviruses to your body when you interact with him. In the same way, Satsang and Kusang, company of true saint and company of other people, wrong people, negative people, their company also are contagious. They also transfer either their virtues or their vices. Good things or bad things, good qualities, bad qualities, they transmit to yourself. Whom you are emotionally connected, whom you are emotionally attached with, that will determine what kind of virtues or vices will be transferred to your life. Duryodhan was an innocent boy, but when he got emotionally attached with Shakuni, Duryodhan also became cunning and wicked like Shakuni. Karna also was a pure character. He was the son of Suryanarayan. But when he got emotionally connected with Duryodhan, he also became corrupted like Duryodhan. Whereas Arjun got emotionally attached with Lord Krishna and great sages like Bhagavan Vedvyas. So he became such a victorious and glorious, and he became a great devotee of God. In Ramayana, Kaikeyi Mata was so much loving to Lord Ram. But by the kusang of Manthara, by the bad influence and bad company of Manthara, her mind also changed, and she sent Lord Ram to the Vanvas for 14 years. Why? Because of Satsang and Kusang. Satsang, Kusang both are contagious. They transmits their virtues or vices. Now let's see few examples. Do you know why our country got a name Bharat? This Bharat name has come from the name of great king Bharat. This king Bharat was the son of Rishabdev Bhagwan, and he was the Chakravarti Samrat. He was the ruler of whole earth, and for number of years he ruled the kingdom. But one day he got non-attachment from the kingdom and royal pleasures. He thought that this everything is perishable. What is permanent is the devotion of God, and what is most happiness giving is the devotion of God. So he left his whole kingdom, all the royal pleasures, everything, and he went to the jungle, and whole day he is spending his full time in the penance, in the devotion of God. But one day what happened? He was taking bath in the river, and in his hand he got a newly born, very beautiful baby deer. And he thought that now this is an orphan baby deer. Who will take care of him? So this King Bharat started to take care of that baby deer, but slowly his attachment shifted from God to this baby deer. And at the time of his death, he remembered that baby deer as his last memory, and because of that, in the next birth he became a deer. Story is very long. But question is, though he made the big renunciation, he was performing great devotion of God, he left everything, though he missed his salvation, his moksha. What was missing? Satsang. That's it. There was no guru in his life, there was no person in his life who can stop him. That Bharat, this attachment with baby deer is wrong. Draw back your attachment. Otherwise you will lose your moksha. Nobody was there, no guru was there, no satsang was there in his life. And in absence of satsang, King Bharat, anyhow he missed his salvation. But afterwards he got the salvation in his second birth, third birth. After becoming deer, he became a Jad Bharat. And then he came into the incarnation of Nishkudanand Swami at the time of Bhagavan Swaminarayan. And finally he got the salvation, went to the Akshardham. Now let's see the power of satsang. Prahlad ji, he had the satsang of Narad just in the womb of his mother. After taking birth, he mostly never met to Narad ji. Whatever satsang he had in the womb of his mother, he became such powerful devotee, such bold devotee of Bhagavan Narayan. Dhruv, he had the satsang of Narad ji for a couple of moments when he was going to the jungle. But with that satsang, he was enabled to have divine darshan of Bhagwan Narayan. Ajamil, he got the satsang of Sankadik. Sankadik gave him one small niyam, that if you get blessed with a son, keep his name as Narayan. Actually, he was the sinful butcher. So when at the time of his death, Yamduta came to take him, this Ajamil was frightened and he shouted the name of Narayan. Narayan, please save me. Anyway, he was calling his son, but Narayan is the name of God. God came and Ajamil became free from the clutch of Yamdutas. Valya robber, he was the cruel robber. He was looting everybody who were coming in the jungle. Once he encountered with Naradji. Naradji just asked few questions. That questions enlightened the mind of Valya robber. He could realize his sins and he could realize the selfishness of his relatives. He left everything, sat in the meditation, he started chanting Mantra Ram, and we know that that same Valya robber turned into Valmiki Rishi. This is the power of satsang. There was Parikshit, King Parikshit. He was cursed to die within 7 days. But by the satsang of Shukdevji, he got salvation within 7 days. This is the power of satsang, and these all examples sings the glory of satsang. In Sikshapatri also Bhagwan Swaminarayan said that Guninam Gunavattayam Gneyam Yetat Param Phalam Krishne Bhaktischa Satsango Nyatha Yanti Vidopyadaha. Without satsang, scholar and skillful person also are sure to get degenerated. We know the example of Ravan, Duryodhan, Osama bin Laden, Hitler. They were the intellectual person. They were the scholars, skillful people. Though they couldn't utilize their skill, their knowledge, their talent in favor of God, in favor of the welfare of society, in absence of satsang. And one more stunning example, Bhagwan Ved Vyas. He felt great dissatisfaction even after making the big efforts for the salvation of mankind. He was unable to figure out what was missing in his efforts. Naradji comes, and by the satsang of Naradji, Bhagwan Ved Vyas could find the cause of his dissatisfaction, and finally he composes his last scripture, Srimad Bhagavad Puran. By composing that Srimad Bhagavad Puran, Bhagwan Ved Vyas got the ultimate life satisfaction. This has also happened because of the satsang of true saint. And satsang is not just for the fallen souls, bad people, negative people. Satsang is also helpful to the great sages and God as well. Now tell me, if you believe this tree as a mango tree, what will you get? If you strongly believe that this is mango tree and you have strong belief, this is mango tree, what will you get? Mangoes or thorns? Similarly, if you believe fake saint as a true saint, what will you get? However strongly you believe fake saint as a true saint, what will you get? Salvation or suffering? Devotion or damages? Remember, whom you dedicate is far important than how much you dedicate. Make a sense? Whom you dedicate is far more important than how much you dedicate. Your dedication becomes fruitful when it is for the true Ekantik saint. But it is fruitless if it is for the fake saints. Now, the most difficult question of today's session is how to find and identify a true saint. Till now, we talked many things about true saint, but how to identify that he is a true saint and not a fake saint? To identify a true saint is as difficult as finding a needle in the farm. It's very difficult, but it's not impossible. In the scriptures like Vachanamrut, Sikshapatri, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavad Puran, there said the characteristics of a true saint. By knowing them, we can identify true saint. But the prime most quality of a true saint is pure, selfless and spiritual intention. Saintliness Sadhuta lies in the intention of the person. If one has the intention to connect us with the God, then he is a real saint. And one who has the intention to connect us with themselves, directly, indirectly, then he is a fake saint. One who has the pure spiritual intention, he is a true saint. One who has the selfish intention, he is a fake saint. Our eldest Swamiji Sadguru Sri Devaprasad Dasji Swamiji explains the concept of sadhuta, the concept of saintliness with wonderful example. The river of sadhuta, saintliness, is flowing between the two banks. One bank is of intention, pure intention. Another bank is of all the spiritual virtues, dharma, jnana, vairagya, bhakti and many other spiritual virtues. Can you guess out of these two banks, which bank of the river, bank of the sadhuta is most crucial? Is it spiritual intention or is it virtues? Dear devotees, try to understand this deep concept about sadhuta, that if any one of the spiritual virtue got lost, then saintliness will be lost as much as that virtue. That's it. But if intention got polluted, contaminated and corrupted, then whole sadhuta will be shattered. Have you ever noticed when the river takes the turn, this side of bank will become very crucial. If this side of bank will be collapsed, then whole river will be scattered. In the same way, when the intention of a saint gets polluted by the selfish desires, then whole saintliness will be lost. Now the last and small question, who can identify true saint? Yeah, of course, everybody cannot identify true saint. You need a qualification. Mainly you need two qualifications. Number one, according to Vachanamrutam, one who is real mumukshu, one who is really aspiring for the God, he can identify true saint. Number two, according to Srimad Bhagavad Gita, one who has sattvic nature, sattvic instinct, he can identify true saint. Without this, if there is a saint in front of you, you cannot even identify and you cannot even dedicate yourself to him. So dear devotees, let's develop deep love and emotional attachment with a true Ekantik saint, and let's develop Ekantik devotion for Bhagavan Swaminarayan. Thank you. Jai Swaminarayan.